Hello, Cancer. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and these are your predictions for the first 2 weeks of February 2025. I've set the intentions of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. So if you are a Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus placement, then this reading is for you. If you're not sure what your placements are, in the description box below is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Just take a look at that and come back here and watch the video or videos for the respective placement or placements that you wish to view. Do keep in mind that this is a collective general reading. That means it's not individualized or personalized to you, and so messages may come through today that don't fully resonate. And if that happens, please don't get upset. It just means that that one message is intended for someone else of your sign or your sign's placement. So as I always say, take what fits, how it fits, and leave what doesn't. With all that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Cancerian collective now for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What do they need to know for the first 2 weeks of February 2025? One more shuffle now. Thank you. In the heart of your spread, beautiful, we have the Devil, okay? I'm recording this on different days, and I'm using different decks, but if you're a Cancerian, Gemini, Cusper, you may want to take a look at that reading because they also had the Devil in the heart of their spread. In your top row, my dear, we have Death, followed by the Five of Cups, and then the Knight of Cups. Flanking the Devil, you have Justice, as well as the Ace of Cups. And for your bottom row here, you have the Queen of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, you have the World to the Four of Cups to the Seven of Pentacles. Clearly, something is coming to an end here. Now, could be a habit, could be a pattern, could be some type of toxic environment, situation, or connection, or it could just be the way we used to do relationships is coming to an end, and maybe there's a new way here that you'll be doing relationships. This could also be like a rebirth in a current connection. So I'm going to get into the After Tarot deck to get a little bit more clarity for you, but at the center of the spread, we have the Devil. So the judgment almost of this toxicity sort of percolates into all of these other cards. Death to the Five of Cups to the Knight of Cups. For some of you, and again, I'm going to clarify, but for some of you, this is the ending of one relationship and then an entirely new relationship happening like almost immediately thereafter. So you lose a friend, but then you gain a friend. You lose a lover, then you gain a lover, et cetera, et cetera. Lose a job, you gain a job. For others of you, this very well could be the rebirth of a particular connection in your life, whether platonic or romantic, after a particular ending. There does seem to be karmic balance here being brought in after a particular period of toxicity or some type of toxic experience that you've had, which ushers in a new beginning. The Queen of Wands to the Five of Wands to the Six of Pentacles, it's almost like, well, now I'm ready to move forward after this ending. So let's get a little bit more clarity here with the After Tarot deck. Please clarify this for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. We're clarifying the Death to the Five of Cups, to the Knight of Cups, to Justice, to the Devil, to the Ace of Cups, to the Queen of Wands, to the Five of Wands, to the Six of Pentacles. Let's get one more shuffle now here. Thank you. The Death card is being clarified by the Ace of Swords. The Five of Cups is being clarified by the Hermit. The Knight of Cups is being clarified by the Empress. Justice is clarified by the Devil. Wow. And that's in the heart of your spread. The Devil is being clarified by the Six of Swords. The Ace of Swords is being clarified, Ace of Cups is being clarified by the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Wands is clarified by the Seven of Cups. The Five of Wands is clarified by the Four of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles here is clarified by Justice. So you have a couple of repeating cards here. The Devil is seen here twice, and the Justice card is seen here twice. So there's definitely karmic balance being brought into a situation that either was unfair to you, or was just off balance. Bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. Wow, Tower to the Emperor, to the King of Wands, followed immediately by the Sun. So there is an abrupt ending to something over the course of the next 2 weeks. So Ace of Swords to the Death card. Whether you're completely ending something or you're deciding to rebirth it, there's truth and clarity here being brought in with the Ace of Swords. So whatever this ending is, you're seeing it for what it is. Now, do you have the opportunity to rebirth it? You do, and I'll get to that in a minute. But there is something coming to an end. For some of you, yes, you have the chance to rebirth what is ending. But we just need to be clear that there's some type of abrupt stop to something and you're seeing it clearly, you're seeing it for what it is. So there's no confusion here for you when it comes to that. The Hermit to the Five of Cups says, during this period of mourning, this grief, this loss, whatever it is that you're experiencing due to the ending, it will enable you to kind of do a bit of soul searching. Some of you could find yourselves during this period maybe spending a lot more time alone, reflecting, contemplating about what went wrong. And I don't know who's doing the wrongdoing here, right? I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's the friend. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's the boss. I don't, you know what I mean? It's different for all of you. I'm reading for nearly 90,000 of you, but there's almost this coming to terms with the ending, or at least understanding why this particular ending had occurred. Now, again, the ending could be temporary. This could be a big blow up at work argument, and then the next day, all is well. Knight of Cups to the Empress. Knight of Cups to the Empress says, not only are you in your power now, deciding what offers you will give to people and what offers you will receive. The Empress, for many of you, could indicate an individual, whether they're masculine or feminine, doesn't matter. This could be an emperor, this could be an empress. I'm reading for the collective, so genders and body parts are irrelevant to me when I read for the collective. But this very well could be an individual that's coming towards you with an offer, or again, you could be in the role of the emperor, empress, and making this offer to someone. What's definitely coming to an end is a toxic cycle. The Devil to the Justice card. We're seeing it very clearly now for what it was. This was the toxic friend, the toxic family member, the toxic habit within ourselves, the toxic relationship. Just maybe even a component of the relationship itself was toxic. It doesn't mean that the relationship, in its entirety was toxic. Maybe the way we do relationships is toxic. But there definitely is here this revelation that something here within my life has to change because it's not good for me. And this could be anything. This could be a habit. This could be drinking. This could be smoking. This could be gambling. It could be a number of things. For each of you, the devil represents something different. I was telling Gemini that in their reading. But for the collective, what's happening here is the identification of what is toxic and then the eradication of it from our life. Being able to do whatever this is over again, but removing the toxicity first. And in order to remove it, right, you have to acknowledge it. It's like you have to like admit the problem type of thing before you can go forward with solving it. So the devil is being clarified by the Six of Swords. I really like the Six of Swords in the After Tarot deck because in the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, it's just, a person or people on a boat. Depends what type of deck you use. The number of the people in the boat is different. Some is like a person and a dog, but you get the gist of it. In the After Tarot deck, this is literally like the boat is now at shore. They have made it. They're not just like trying to traverse into calmer waters. They actually have arrived at a destination point after going through the storm, after going through the Five of Swords. So for some of you, with this card being here and knowing that what precedes is the Five of Swords, this could have just been a really toxic argument or verbal exchange that you've had with someone. And this could be you recognizing your part in that, or seeing that person for who or what they truly are. Again, regardless of what the devil represents to you, there's an acknowledgement of I see you and I'm moving away from it. I'm either no longer engaging in that behavior or I'm no longer entertaining individuals who engage in that behavior. Ace of Cups to the Queen of Swords. Now the new offer comes in. Whether you're giving this offer to someone or you're receiving the offer. Now the offer is clean. Now the offer is not toxic. So I'll give you an example in terms of career and finance, okay? Because everyone's relationships are different. So in terms of career and finance, let's say you're at a really unhealthy a job environment. You like what you do and you actually like who you do it for, but the people that you have to do it with, like maybe your immediate coworkers, maybe there's a level of toxicity there. Maybe there are a lot of negative words or backstabbing or competition there within the department. This would be you realizing the toxicity for what it is and then creating a plan to move away from it, going to a higher up, to the emperor, empress, whether that's like your shift supervisor or a manager or someone even higher up the scale there, whatever it is, this would be like you going to that person and saying, look, this is the issue that's being, that exists here in the department. I certainly don't want to leave my job, but I can no longer work in this toxic environment. That's you recognizing the toxic environment. That's you planning a way how to move forward. That's you working with someone else to solve the toxicity. So maybe then that higher up talks to the employees. Maybe the higher up says, you know what, you're right. We're going to hire new people. That could be the higher up saying to you, well, I'm going to put you as like an assistant manager for that department. So maybe you can help me oversee it. Confronting the toxicity with, and there's definitely a secondary individual here, okay, because I have the Knight and the Queen. And that Knight of Cups is clarified by the Emperor. So there's definitely two different energies here at play. Whoever that counterpart is for you, when you have this communication with them, this Queen of Swords moment, identifying this and not doing it in an irrational way, not doing it in an overly emotional way, because the Queen of Swords really kind of is, and I'm a Gemini, this is my queen. It's very like non-emotional. These are the facts. This is what is taking place. This is what I can no longer deal with. How do you and I work together to eradicate the toxicity in the work environment, in my community, on my block with my neighbors? You know, I mean, this can spread through anything. This could be you talking to a parent and saying, look, our connection is really toxic. Do I want to, you know, no longer have you in my life? No, but in order to keep you in my life, we need to address the toxicity that exists between both of us when we interact with one another. Same thing if it's a friend or a lover. It's identifying the toxicity and then going to that counterpart and saying something. Now, this only happens after that Tower moment. So the blow up, the argument, the separation, there is conflict here. But out of the conflict comes the opportunity for you to identify the toxicity and go to whomever that counterpart is and have this conversation. And out of the conversation actually comes an opportunity. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is an opportunity. All aces in tarot are opportunities. So now here's the opportunity to do this again, have this connection again, or stay at work, or again, whatever the problem is, but we're going to do it differently. And that's why I said it's like clean now. The slate has been clean. We've discussed the issue. We discussed how it makes you feel, how it makes me feel, and how the two of us can work together to eliminate it. So moving forward, there's no confusion with this. The Queen of Wands, whether it's Queen or King, doesn't matter to me, but that this is the energy of an individual who's a go-getter. Now they're willing to get things done. Now they're willing to work in concert with their counterpart here to make some positive forward movement. And so the Seven of Cups in the After Tarot deck is not a card of confusion. It's now I know exactly what I want, or now I know exactly what I'm going to do. Because in the typical, again, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, the cups on the Seven of Cups, they're all filled. There's a person standing before them and they're confused as hell. What cup do I pick? I don't know. In this one, the individual has selected the cup that they want. So you're sort of leaving behind the confusion. You're leaving behind maybe the toxic ways you would have typically handled the situation, like throw your hands up and quit on the spot, or tell the friend to go F themselves, or put up a 10-foot fence between you and your neighbor because you don't really want to resolve the issue. You just kind of want to block your view from them. Like whatever this is for you, breaking up with the boyfriend, girlfriend, the husband, wife, etc., etc. This is you now, again, you and whomever this counterpart is, having this very non-emotional yet factual discussion, identifying the toxicity, and coming up with a plan. The Six of Wands and the Six of Swords in this deck, in order to get us safe for shores, we need a plan. We needed a way to navigate through the tumultuous, toxic waters so we can get to safety, so we can get to land. So that's what's happening here. And with that comes no confusion and the ability to move forward. And then we have the Four of Pentacles to the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is conflict. But the Four of Pentacles in this deck is different. The Four of Pentacles in the typical, again, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck is an individual who's holding on. So if I use the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, then the message here would be holding on to conflict. You're holding on to it, they're holding on to it, and at that point, there really is no resolution. But in the After Tarot deck, we actually see the skeleton here of the Death card. So it's scorpionic energy with this Four of Pentacles. So we're releasing, no longer holding on to whatever it was we were holding on to. We're now releasing it. So what is being released? And this kind of is like another Death card, even though it technically is the Four of Pentacles. But because we have the Grim Reaper here, basically, coming in and removing that. Now we're no longer holding on to whatever toxic trait existed in this connection or environment or situation that created the tower, that created the argument, that created the Five of Swords. And Six of Pentacles to Justice. That is how balance is restored. Now we have equal reciprocity at the workplace, equal reciprocity with our friend group, community group we volunteer in, with the family member, with the family in general, with our kids, with our spouse, with our significant other. Whoever this counterpart is for you, there's a tower moment between you and them. I'm not going to lie. It looks like it's going to hurt. It does. It's going to make you feel terrible. It's going to make them feel equally terrible. It does bring a sudden, abrupt end to the connection. However, that abrupt end could actually be temporary. Behind the World card, we have the Four of Cups, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Hangman, and then we have the Page of Cups, which is the Ace of Cups, which the Knight of Cups is also offering. So could this be an uncomfortable, and look, this time span is going to be different for all of you. It's playing out in the next 2 weeks, but this could be an hour. This could be a day. This could be 4 days. So I kind of feel like this reading for the Cancerian collective is, if this moment happens to you within the next 2 weeks, where whomever this counterpart is, there's this big blowout, shocking, unexpected tower moment, and it leads to an argument or it leads to a separation, you have it well within your power to make that separation as temporary as you want it to be. After the ending, you have the opportunity to contemplate it. The Four of Cups. Contemplate, how am I going to fix this situation? Seven of Pentacles. How can I invest in this? Do I want to invest in this? The Hangman. Getting a different perspective. And then that Page of Cups is the Ace of Cups. Let me talk to this individual and see how we can resolve this issue. Now, this only works if you want to keep that job, or you want to keep that partner, or you want to keep that person in your life. Obviously, if you don't, then I imagine the tower moment for you is the opportunity to release that job or release that individual. But I'm gathering from the energy here, most of you don't want to lose the job or the situation, you know what I mean, or the connection or the living environment. I mean, if you have a roommate, this could be a huge blowout between you and a roommate. Do you want to now have to up and leave and move? No, most of you don't. I mean, maybe one person watching is like, yes, there's a tower. That's going to be my excuse to pack my bags and move. Okay. But the majority of the collective is looking to resolve the issue. And what Tarot is telling you here is, and right behind, it's amazing, right behind the Page of Cups, we have the Chariot. So the ability to have victory in the situation comes from the opportunity created by the tower moment, so we can sit down and talk about the ending and why this occurred, what's toxic within you, within me, within the environment, within the situation, what is the resolution to move forward. And I do see you having here a willing counterpart. And I say that because the Knight of the Empress is offering, is showing up as the Knight of Cups, who holds the Ace of Cups. So there is here an offering of like, you're right, let's do this again, but let's do it in a healthier, more Ace of Cups, emotionally balanced way. So let's get into your oracle cards, and then we'll get into the kippers. So do I like that you're having the tower moment? No, obviously not. And for some of you, it is happening with a masculine, because I've Emperor to the King of Wands. So this maybe is a toxic trait within this person that needs to be addressed. Maybe you're the King of Wands here, and there's something, you know, toxic with you, the way you interact. And it doesn't mean that the toxicity is always there. Maybe this is just you or them having a really bad day, and it's resulting in this horrible, shocking, surprising argument between the two of you. But I have a Queen of Wands and I have a King of Wands. So, and then look, immediately after that is the Sun card. So it's like, once this toxicity can be illuminated, then we can move on towards happiness. But unfortunately, the opportunity to get there is going to come at the cost of a separation. And again, however long that separation is, it's going to be entirely up to you. Let's get 3 oracle cards now for Cancer. We're going to get one for each of your rows here. For the first row, second row, and third row. One more shuffle now. Thank you. First row, my darling, you have infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. See, the toxicity is being removed. Obviously, you have the divine gift of free will, so it's only if you utilize this opportunity to address it and eradicate it. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. So your spiritual connection with this individual, whomever they are, will increase after this. Because again, I do believe you have a willing participant or a willing partner here, willing to help you fix whatever this is, whether it's a parent, a friend, a boss, etc. For the second row, you have intervention and purpose. Yes, this is divine intervention, helping you to address something toxic in a particular connection in your life. So moving forward, the connection will be fairer and more balanced for both of you. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided, and happiness is your purpose. And obviously, any situation or connection in our life where we can restore and maintain balance in it is going to make us happy. Because the unhappiest that we are in our lives, when you think about it, is when we're off balance, when something's not right in our life, when things are not going smoothly, when there is a lot of conflict. So yeah, this is divine intervention happening to almost like right this wrong. And in the bottom deck, you have psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. So see this ending, because the Ace of Swords is about intuition. The Ace of Swords is about your third eye, and the Ace of Swords is about the truth. So see this ending not as the ending. See it as an opportunity, again, if you want, to actually rebirth this situation. And that's definitely possible with 2 death cards here on the table. Bottom of the deck, you have open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. Absolutely. That is how this whole thing will turn around for you. We're going to get into the kippers, and we're going to close your reading out. We're at the 22-minute mark almost. So I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time today. Additional closing messages now for Cancer. Oop, I almost saw the courtship card. One more shuffle now. Thank you. For your top row, you have marriage. So for some of you, this could be a soulmate, soul bond connection, whether you're married to this person or not, whether you want to be married to this person or not. Sometimes in this deck, the marriage card just means that this is an individual that you have a soul bond contract with. So that is what's being addressed here. You then have despair. And that amazing, that despair card is right next to the 5 of Cups. So yes, when this happens, are you in despair? Yes, but that's card number 32. 32 reduces to 5, and 5 is all about change. So you have the ability here to do some soul searching. And now that you've seen this reading, you kind of have a heads up on it that the situation is not all but lost. It is repairable. For the second row here, you have courthouse, which I love. I mean, this is justice. This is like the like adjudication. This is balance, like karmic balance. And then you have thoughts. So yeah, definitely think about this with that hermit energy before having this conversation. I love the way the cards are lining up. And for the last row, you have child, which is the birth of a new way of doing this connection, or maybe even like the rebirth of the connection. And then you have concern. So I really like this for you. This is card number 33. It reduces to 6. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles. So I think any concerns that you have had or they have had about this connection being able to be balanced and have an essence of reciprocity, I think those concerns are absolved here. I'm not saying that the connection with whomever this is will be rosy from here on out, but this is really definitely a good start. Unfortunately, like I said, it takes the tower moment to happen. But I always say towers don't happen to us. They happen for us. So in this case, this is happening for you. So you are now in the driver's seat, identifying the toxicity and having this conversation with this individual. Bottom of the deck, we have mature man. We did have the emperor there. So you could be the mature man, or you could be dealing with the mature man. Could be your father, could be or any parent. But again, this is card number 5. So there's going to be a change with whomever this individual is, a boss, a parent, a significant other, a brother, a neighbor, and then you have high honor. So I really like this for you. I think this is really the ability to take this connection to a higher to a higher level, to a higher frequency, to a higher vibration. Unfortunately, it comes at a cost of the tower moment, but we can use tower moments to rebuild connections. I just had a tower moment with my person, and I was just, did not see it coming, did not see the argument coming, but he said something, I took it the wrong way. There's clearly something toxic here in our connection. The way I respond, the way he said it, the way I responded to it, it's now has given us the opportunity to discuss it and address it and be able to move on from it in a more healthy, balanced way. And I'm not a Cancerian, and I have very little Cancer in my chart, but something like that could play out here for you. Like, were you expecting this? No. But can you now seize the opportunity to use that to address the main issue here, and the two of you can like reconnect and move forward? Absolutely. So that's what's headed your way for the first 2 weeks of February 2025. I don't like how it starts. I love how it ends. And you have a willing counterpart here right alongside of you, wanting to fix the connection. So seize the opportunity to do that. If you just put, hate to say it, lipstick on a pig, and you try to blow over this tower and not address this issue, you will have another tower, because it's divine intervention saying, Cancer, it's like the knock, 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 right? This needs to be addressed within you, within them, within the connection. So if you just want to gloss over the tower and 5 minutes later forgive the person because you're afraid of losing them, then you're not seizing the opportunity. And within time, whether that's a few days for you, months, or whatever, the tower is going to happen again. And every time the tower happens, it will get worse and worse and worse, because it's the universe, it's spirit getting louder and louder and louder, almost like forcing you to address this. And that's their way of auto-correcting something that you or the other person didn't originally address in the connection. This is now your opportunity to address it and to birth an entirely new connection between the two of you. So that's what I have for you, my darling. That's what's headed your way for the first 2 weeks of February 2025. If you like this message, if you found it to be helpful or even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.